महेश्वरा, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म, तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता, नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत, अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदा मामुसृजामः। परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां, धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। पितुमात स्वामी सखा हमारे, पितुमात स्वामी सखा हमारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। ठाकुर हमारे प्राणों से प्यारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। गैया चरैया माखन चुरैया, दीनों की नैया तुम ही खिलैया। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण। गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय 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 गोपाल जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे कृष्ण 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 राधे कृष्ण कृष्ण राधे कृष्ण 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 गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव बोल बांके बिहारी लाल की जय।
Thank you, Chandraji.
Dhiman bhai, Ilaben, if you have a bhajan ready.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you जी. सरला जी, आप अरुण जी कह रहे हैं कि आप ही आज भजन के लिए तैयार हैं, तो इफ यू आर रेडी.
उनको अनम्यूट कीजिए.
हाँ.
ओके.
हाँ जी.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. 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 ओम शांति शांति शांति.
थैंक यू जी. अरुण जी, और
कुंती बहन है.
अच्छा, आप इंट्रोड्यूस कीजिए.
कुंती बहन. कुंती बहन.
I don't think she's here.
मैंने देखा था अभी उनको.
नहीं.
आद्या बेटा.
मैं गा दूं?
हाँ जी, उषा जी आप गाइए।
Just saying hello, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Hope you're staying safe in quarantine.
Yes, yes, we're trying our best.
Mask here also always.
Excellent. How's
Okay.
mom and dad doing?
They're good. Everybody's good. I'll go get mom.
Good. Okay. Thank you.
Chandra ji, whenever you're ready.
अरुण जी मैं गा दूं अभी?
हाँ
हाँ,
जी, गाइए
जरूर।
प्लीज।
ओके मैं शुरू
उषा
कर
जी
रही हूँ
गाएं,
फिर।
भावना जी।
ठीक है।
है? ओके।
हाँ।
दर्शन दो घनश्याम नाथ मोरी अखियां प्यासी रे। दर्शन दो घनश्याम नाथ मोरी अखियां प्यासी रे। दर्शन दो घनश्याम मन मंदिर की ज्योत जगा दो। मन मंदिर की ज्योति जगा दो। घट घट वासी रे। दर्शन दो घनश्याम नाथ मोरी अखियां प्यासी रे। दर्शन दो घनश्याम मंदिर मंदिर मूरत तेरी फिर भी न दिखे सूरत तेरी। मंदिर मंदिर मूरत तेरी फिर भी न दिखे सूरत तेरी। युग बीते ना आई मिलन की पूरन मासी रे। दर्शन दो घनश्याम नाथ मोरी अखियां प्यासी रे। दर्शन दो घनश्याम द्वार दया का जब तू खोले पंचम सुर में गूंगा बोले। अंधा देखे लंगड़ा चल कर पहुंचे काशी रे। दर्शन दो घनश्याम नाथ मोरी अखियां प्यासी रे। दर्शन दो घनश्याम पानी पीकर प्यास बुझाऊं नैनन को कैसे समझाऊं। आंख में चोली छोड़ो अब तो मन के वासी रे। दर्शन दो घनश्याम नाथ मोरी अखियां प्यासी रे। दर्शन दो घनश्याम।
थैंक यू उषा जी।
यू वेलकम जी।
चंद्र जी।
हाँ जी।
ओ मौसा जी के लिए वो मंत्र जरा बोल दीजिए, उनकी सर्जरी हुई है तो उनके लिए प्रेयर कर दीजिए।
त्र्यंबकम।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
अच्छा जी, ठीक है।
हाँ जी।
ओम त्र्यंबकम यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्युञ्जयम् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
थैंक यू चंद्र जी। जगदीश जी, राजी जगदीश जी,
जगदीश जी अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ, आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर दीजिए।
हाँ जी, I'm listening.
आपको कुछ बोलना है सबको?
फूड डोनेशन के बारे में प्लीज दस दो जरा।
Monday we're doing 200 lunches, dinner 4:30 in Artsley. Then Tuesday we're doing again 100 lunches in Yankar. And then next week, following Tripti Shah ji donate another $1,000. We're donating another, next week following, because this week Raj Huja and Savita Huja ji, Monday and Tuesday Dilip Patel ji, they gave $551. So we're donating all this money to the temples to food, drive.
Any update on the construction?
Construction will be started, I think, June, because they delayed again today. Looks like June 13. Windows are already ordered in the stocks. So we are waiting, when the construction starts,
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ji.
Okay, so we are just, it looks like Dr. Shreedhar is a little bit delayed. So there's still 3 minutes, so he's not officially late as yet. But maybe we can continue with some bhajans, or if anybody wants to say anything. Usha ji, आप कैसे हैं? आपको unmute करूँ मैं? आप जरा बताइए, how are you doing and how is Jaswant ji? अच्छा, unmute हो गए.
He is still under care. Today I had a talk with the doctors, so they said that if he improved, today he was complaining he can't breathe, Still there is a lot of blood clotting is there, so we are all worried. But the only thing we can do is prayer. So I talked to the doctor, he said it may clear up by tomorrow. So we can only hope for the best. Ishwar ki kripa hogi, then that clots will dissolve.
Okay. Well, our prayers are with you and with Jaswant. Here's Rakesh ji. He's here now. Namaste, Rakesh ji. Can you hear us? Rakesh ji, can you unmute yourself? Can you hear us? हाँ जी राकेश जी, आप कुछ बोलिए. बस नमस्ते. We are all eagerly waiting for you. अरुण जी, आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे?
भावना जी, आप उनको इंट्रोड्यूस करो. You know me.
Well, I think Rakesh ji doesn't need much introduction. He's very well known. He is He is, has been really the spearheading spirit behind the Ekal Vidyalaya movement, and also the Seva for community and the Seva International. He's very much involved, and of course a very prominent doctor from Rockland County. And he's a big proponent of Hinduism and very knowledgeable about Geeta and Vedas and everything about our Hindu faith. So we're very happy to have him here and welcome him, and we're looking forward to hearing from him today. So whenever you're ready, Rakesh ji, I'm going to mute everybody. If anybody has any questions or anything, there's a chat button at the bottom. If you can just type in your question, I will be more than happy to ask the question. But otherwise, I'm going to keep everybody muted so that there is no disturbance.
Namaste, everyone. Everybody can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So let's start with Shanti Mantra. Huh? Om. Let's chant Om 3 times. Everybody can do that. Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is a good mantra to start with any prayers. It just means it has 3 or 4 components. It's from Upanishads and I think from the Rig Veda. O Almighty, the teacher and the student are sitting together and praying to the Almighty. Om Sahana Bhavatu, O Lord, protect us together. Sahana Bhunaktu, nourish us together, hamara palan kijega. Om Sahana Saviryam Karvavahi, give us strength. Let our studies, let our knowledge be brilliant and bright. And above all, Ma Vidvishavahi, let there be no enmity amongst us. Let us all be friends. That's very important. So Bhagavad Gita, I'm sure a lot of you read it, and some of you may actually know more about it. It's just my hobby. I read it from time to time. It's a beautiful, practical guide to living. It's the best known scripture about Hinduism. And it's a beautiful handbook of instructions as to how each one of us can live the subtle principles of Vedanta in our day-to-day life. It teaches us the art of self-discipline and self-perfection. Man is a synthesis of matter and spirit, bhautik and adhyatmik. And you cannot feed one and ignore the other. So it teaches us how to balance the material aspect of life with the spiritual aspect. It's a treasure house of the most precious pearls of wisdom, offering a solution to all personal problems, though they vary in nature from individual to individual. But it gives you a solution to almost all problems in life. At least that's what I have felt. And that's what most people that I know have felt. And herein lies the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. We are a dual personality of good and bad. Everybody has good and bad instincts in them. And the idea of happy living is to conquer the evil and cultivate the good in us. It's like they say, starve the demon and feed the God, or feed good. And how to evolve that good in us by patience, selfless hard work, forgiveness, friendship, etc., etc. This is what Gita teaches us. It teaches us to do our duty and in doing our duty, put our whole heart into it, selflessly, regardless of the outcome. It was written by Rishi Vyasa, and it's a part of epic Mahabharata, as you all know. It has 18 chapters, and each chapter is called a yoga. Now, yoga is a Sanskrit word derived from the root yuj, which means to join, to yoke, to anchor, to something higher, something better. And it also means union. It teaches us to elevate ourselves so that the individual Atman can be united with the Paramatma. So it's the union of Atma with the God. And that is what yoga basically teaches you. And the 18 chapters are each a yoga, and all these chapters basically describe one or the other aspect of yoga. Now, as you know, there are four types of yogas as described by all our great sages: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raj Yoga, and Gyan Yoga. So each one of these chapters in one or the other form is a part of one of those four yogas. And the best description of these was given by two sages. One is Swami Vivekananda in the latter part of the 20th century. And then Swami Chinmayananda also describes these things in greatest detail in his book, The Holy Gita. And why Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is really the essence of Hindu religion. And the proof itself is in Bhagavad Gita itself. See, in the olden days, before the days of printing, the books used to give the meaning of the Shastras, or the books that were written, so that the first and the last stanza of a book or a poem would oftentimes give us the essence of that work. Now, as you know, the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita starts with the word dharma. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samveta yayutsava mamaka pandavas chaiva kim kurvat Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjay about what his sons are doing. So the first word is dharma, and the last shloka, yatra yogeshvara krishna yatra partho dhanodhara tatra shri vijayo bhutir dhruva nitir matir mama. The last word ends with mama. So the first word of Bhagavad Gita is dharma, and the last word is mama. So mama dharma, my religion, my dharma, the essence of my dharma is in Bhagavad Gita. This is what sage Vyasa said 5,100 years ago, and it holds true today. It really has answers to every question about our religion, and so it is the essence of our dharma. Now, dharma is the closest is, of course, we call it religion, but dharma is derived from a Sanskrit word dhri, which means to uphold, to sustain, to support. So dharma, therefore, denotes one that holds the society, the different aspects of society, and the different aspects of a human being together. To hold the society together, to guide it, the individuals, to lead a righteous way of life, so that we make this universe, this earth, this humanity, a better place to live, and we become better human beings. Now, there are 18 chapters, like I said, and the first chapter is Arjun Vishad Yoga. the second chapter is Sankhya Yoga. The Arjun Vishad Yoga is the first chapter because that is all about the confusion that Arjun has about what to do in that battlefield. It is his confusion that is all mentioned in the first chapter itself. Lord Krishna does not actually say any word in the first chapter. King Dhritarashtra is asking Arjuna, like I said, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samveta, Yeyutsava, Mamka, Pandavaschaiva, Kim Kurvat Sanjay. Oh Sanjay, Sanjay is the advisor, is it, oh Sanjay, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, what is going on between my sons and the Pandu's sons? And so basically, in everybody's mind, there is a battle of Kurukshetra going on. In everybody's soul is, the mind is the battlefield, Kurukshetra, and we have all these confusions about what to do in life, and everybody faces this indecision almost all the time. Even the moment you get out of your bed in the morning, whether I should get out or wait for 15 minutes, or should I start my day like right now, or should I, what do I have to do and why I have to do that? In varying degrees, everybody is a victim of that Arjuna disease. He asks Sanjay as to what's going on. Then Duryodhana goes to King Guru Dronacharya and tells him what's going on with this and that. The armies are together, and then they are facing each other, and then they blow the conches. And the important thing in the interesting thing is, of course, the conches that are blown by the Lord Krishna and the Pandavas. So Lord Krishna blows the conch, Panchjanya Harshikesho, Devadattam Dhananjaya, Paundrav Dhamma Mahashankham, Bhima Karma Brikodara, Anant Vijayam Raja, Kunti Putra Yudhishthira, Nakula Sahadevascha, Sughosh Mani Pushpako. So the 5 conches that are blown, it's interesting to know this. Lord Krishna starts the battle on behalf of the Pandavas, but the battle was actually started by Kauravas. Bhishmaji starts the first conch. Panchjanya, the conch that Arjuna blows is Devadatta. Paundram is Bhima's conch. Raja Yudhishthir blows the Ananta Vijaya named conch. And Nakula Sahadevascha, Sughosh Manipushpaka. These are the 2 conches that they blow. So they are ready. Then Arjuna gets a little second thoughts in his mind and asks Bhagavan Krishna to take the chariot into the middle of the battlefield, and he wants to see what's going on, who he's fighting, and all those sort of, there is a doubt in his mind. And then as he sees his teachers, his relatives and all that, he gets shattered, confused, completely broken down. And he starts to give all these excuses. And all that Lord Krishna is doing is listening to him. And the last shloka in the first chapter is that he Eva Muktva Hrishikesham Eva Muktva Sankhya Rathopastha Upavishat Visrija Sashram Chapancha Shok Samvignamanasa. Shok se yukt, absolutely depressed, he sits in the back of the chariot and says, I'm not going to fight. And that is the Om Tatsaditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjun Samvade Arjun Vishad Yogo Prathamo Adhyaya. This is how the first chapter really ends, in complete disappointment for Arjuna. And Bhagavan Krishna is just observing him, and then start the second chapter. And Sanjay tells the Rashtra that, to this almost crying Arjuna, the Lord says, the second shloka says, Kutastu akashmalam idam vishme anupastitam. Okay, why are you so broken down? What's going on? So the second chapter is what we will really discuss in detail. And that chapter is more or less the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The second and 18th chapters are basically the essence of what the Bhagavad Gita says. Of course, every chapter has its own name and significance. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So in the second chapter has actually 4 components. One is, the first 10 is a continuation of the first chapter itself, and it explains the circumstances under which Arjuna has completely given in. And from the 11th to the 30th is an explanation of reincarnation. And then a bit about the Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and the last 2 shlokas are more or less the Jnana Yoga. So in the 3rd shloka of the 2nd chapter, Lord Krishna tells him, Klaidyam masmagamaya parthana aitattu yupadyate kshidram hriday dorbalyam tyaktu tishtha parantapa. Oh Arjuna, why are you behaving like almost an physically incompetent man? It doesn't befit you. Don't behave like a weakling. Stand up and get ready to fight your enemies. When the self identifies with the mind and is not able to reason, then you are looking for all the excuses in order to not to do what you should be doing. So when in this shattered condition, we go on to the 7th shloka, where Arjuna gives in completely and says, Karpanya dosho pahat sabhava prichhami tvam dharma sammood cheta yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. O Krishna, at this time, Arjuna does not know that he's the Lord himself. He does not actually realize that until the 10th chapter. With my heart, he says, with my heart overpowered by pity and with my mind confused about my duty, I ask you, tell me decisively what is good for me. I have become your disciple. Please instruct me how I should behave, what I should do. By now, Arjun has completely given up and he completely surrenders to the Lord, asking for advice. And here is where the real teaching begins. Lord Krishna telling him that the true fight is between good and evil. The true fight is between dharma and adharma. It's not between human beings, cousins and all that sort of thing. So in the next one, it's a very favorite, important shloka of the Gita in the 2nd chapter, 11th shloka. Ashuchyananna shochastam pragya vadanscha bhashase gatasuna gatasunuscha nanushuchanti vanditaha. O Arjun, you are grieving for those that you shouldn't grieve for. and you pretend to be a wise man, you're speaking words of wisdom, you think. But truly, the wise do not grieve about the ones that are living or the ones that are dead or gone. And then in the next sloka, Natvevaham jatuna samnatva me janadiva nachayivna bhavishyame sarve vaimadaparam. Anytime in the past, it's not that we have not been here, that you have not been here, I have not been here, and these kings and rulers and the subjects that are ready to fight, they have all been here before, and they will all be here again. And then he starts telling him about the eternal nature of the Atman and the temporary nature of human body. Dehi nityo abhidyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tada dehantar praptir dhira satra namoyati. Just as in this body, the soul passes into childhood, youth, old age, and then death, so also, Arjun, the soul passes from one body to the next one, and you don't have to grieve about that. And in this, in a continuation of this, he goes on to say, Na jayate mrite va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuya ajo nitya shashvatoyam na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Soul is not born. It is eternal, and it does not die like the physical body. Let us compare it to the ocean and the waves. The waves rise, go to the peak, go down, and die, and they merge back into the ocean. Likewise, the body grow, become old, die, and disappear into the Paramatman. But the soul into the soul. But the soul itself is permanent. It's like the ocean. It never dies. It's eternal. And then comes another favorite shloka, which is the 22nd shloka of the second chapter. Vasansi jiranani yatha vihai navani granhati naro aparani tatha sharirani vihai jiranani anyani sanyati navani dehi. Just as a man casts off his worn out clothes and puts on new ones, so also the Atman, the soul, casts off the old worn out bodies and enters new ones. This goes on from the 12th to the 30th shloka, describing the permanent and eternal nature of our soul. And these shlokas are often quoted whenever there is a eulogy, a cremation, or that sort of thing after death of someone in the family or in the community. And these 12 to the 30th shloka of Bhagavad Gita are very good at describing the temporary nature of human body, our bodily existence, and eternal nature of our Atman. Now, as you know, Hindus, we believe in the reincarnation. And would you believe that about 35 to 40% of Americans believe in reincarnation? Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, all believe in reincarnation. And these essentially are entirely based on the Vedas and declare their belief in reincarnation. And in fact, even in Christian faith, in the olden times, they used to believe in reincarnation. Origen, one of the most learned of ancient Christian fathers, declared that every man received a body for himself according to his actions in the previous lives. Solomon's Book of Wisdom amongst the Jews clearly states that to be born in a sound body with limbs is a reward of the virtues of your past lives. So Jews, Christians also at times believed in this. And the present day research by a famous psychiatrist, Brian Weiss, who was a professor of psychiatry in Columbia, has a book, Many Lives, Many Masters, which he comes across a patient who leads him into her past lives. And the whole book is about reincarnation. It's a book known as Many Lives, Many Masters, and it's beautifully written. Then there are many famous English writers that have believed in reincarnation. And in fact, there are people like, say, take, for example, Mozart. This genius wrote sonatas at the age of 4, played in public at 5, composed his first opera at 7. Can this be just a pure accident that this was a genius from birth? I think this is purely a reincarnation. There are so many instances of all these instances of rebirth. So this is the explanation about the eternity of our soul and the temporary nature of our bodies. Again, he goes on to, Lord Krishna goes on to tell him that the contact with the sense objects, which causes heat and cold, pleasure, pain, they all have a beginning and an end, to be endured bravely by a true spiritual human being. And the shloka goes like this: Mastras Prashas Dukanteya Shitoshna Sukha Dukkada Agama Paino Nitya Tante Diksha Swabharata Avinashi tu tadvidhi yena sarvam idam tatam vinasham aviyasyasya na kashchit kartum arhati. This is the 17th sloka of the 2nd chapter. And it says, know that to be indestructible, unimperishable, by which this whole universe is pervaded. That is the Almighty. None can destroy that. And would you believe, this is the favorite shloka of Tulsi Gabbard, and she quotes it every time she comes to a temple or delivers a lecture. And also, this is very similar to the first shloka of Ishavasi Upanishad, which states, Ishavasimidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaptena bhunjita magradha kasasvidhanam, that this whole universe is pervaded by the Almighty. Everything that moves or does not move in this universe is pervaded by the whole universe is pervaded by the Almighty, and we should live a life of sacrifice. After this description about the eternity of our soul and the transient nature of the human body, he goes on to, in fact, there are several shlokas, na ainam chintanti shastrani, na chainam dahati bhavaka, na chainam kledayantyapo, na shoshayati maruta. Weapons do not destroy it, fire does not burn it. He's talking about soul. The wind doesn't blow it. Achedyoyam adahyoyam aklodyo shisha achevita nitya sarvagada sthanur achaloyam sanadana. Again, describing the permanent nature of our soul and the temporary nature of the human body. And then he's trying to reassure him that whoever is born is sure to die. And whoever dies is sure to be reborn. It's a beautiful shloka. It's the 27th shloka of the 2nd chapter. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityur dhruvam janamamritasya ja tasmada pariharyarthena samshojitum arhasi. So he says, Arjun, death is certain for the born, and certain is the birth, whoever dies. Therefore, why do you have to worry about it? You don't need to grieve over it. You don't need to worry about it. And then he goes to say about the existence or the transient nature of the human body. It is again explained in the 28th sloka, which is Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyakt nidhananyevacha tatraka paridevana. You only know, he says, Avyaktadini bhutani, before you're born, nobody knows where you were, where you came from, or who you were. Vyaktamadhyani bharata, you only know about when you are living as on this earth as an existence, as a human being. And again, avyakta nidhananyevacha, after nidhana, after you're gone, you don't know where you're going. So he says, about this little existence that you have on this earth, why do you worry about this? Just live your life to the best of your ability, because it is very transient. And if you look at it, we all have a very small span of existence on this earth, but we are permanent. And that again describes this. He says, true knowledge, Atma Jnana, makes a man realize that he is really a soul with a body and not a body with a soul. Dehi, let's go to the 30th sloka. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehi sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani na tvam shochitum arhasi. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehi sarvasya bharata. In your body, in your deha, this dehi, this atman, is nitya, is permanent. And you just have to do your best as a human being to purify, to modify the soul. Tasmat sarvani bhutani. You don't have to worry about anybody else. तुमने सबका ठेका नहीं ले रखा है. Just live yourself, your life to the best of your ability. That even if you worry about this getting hurt, killing, or injuring somebody, he said, no. Swadharma pi chavekshavit na become tumarhasi dharmyad hi yuddhat shreya anyat kshatriyasi na vidyate. Even if you look at your own duty, you should not worry about this, because for a kshatriya, which Arjuna was, धर्म्याद ही युद्धात श्रेय अन्यत क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते, कि तुम्हारा धर्म ही युद्ध करना है, इससे तुम विचलित मत हो, ये तुम्हारा कर्तव्य है. Then he goes on to describe the various, varnas, किसका क्या कर्तव्य है and all that. That comes on much later. Okay. We are at about 7 o'clock. Okay. So, if you look at in today's situation, all political leaders, social workers, enthusiastic upholders of our culture, values, police, army, whether they are fighting terrorism from outside, or if they're fighting terrorism within the society, or they are fighting the terrorism within themselves, they are obliged to do their duty. And this is a call to all of them to continue doing their duty. So each one of us has a role to play and to defend and maintain all these values, whether they are drug abuse, violence, divorce, poverty, diseases. And then he again says, Adova prapsisi swargam jitva bhokshe se mahim tasmat uttishta kaunte yuddhaya gatnishchaya. Kata, if you in the fight of life that you have, you're about to face, if you're slain, if you die, you will go to heaven, because you're fighting for a good cause. And if you're victorious, you will enjoy the kingdom of earth. Therefore, stand up and fight. Then he goes on to, second chapter has beautiful 3 shlokas about karma yoga. And one of the most popular shlokas of Bhagavad Gita is the 47th shloka. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal heturubu mate sangovastu karma. This is quite often misunderstood in the West. कि भाई काम करते जाओ और जो मिलता है वो ठीक है. No. So basically what it says is karmanyevadhikaraste. Your concern is with doing your duty. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Phaleshu. You do expect the results and you do want them, but you do not have any right to them. As a student, you do your best. You go to the exam, but you have no right or you have no control over the results. You accept what you get. And the same is true of life. You should not be concerned with the results. And there is a reason for that. You should not entertain the motive of gaining a fixed result. And these ideas do not mean that you should sit back and do not do your duty. All he is asking, all Lord Krishna is asking is, accept what you get, because worrying about the result will affect your performance, will affect your dedication to your duty. Take your work as worship, as a joy, as your job, and accept the result. You do want a salary raise. And of course, that's what you work for it. But let the sincerity of your effort not be affected by your expectation, by your longing for that result. So that is why it says, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal heturbhu, tu karma ke phal ka karan mat ban. Don't be the reason for the result. Mate sanguvasturam akaramani. Kahin aisa na ho कि you forget your dedication to your duty. Future is carved out of the present. Present moments are to be invested intelligently so we may reap the fruits thereafter. A seed planted in the ground today becomes a plant. You have to wait for that plant. That is the whole idea of expecting a result from your effort. So that is where the significance of this shloka comes in. And in fact, this is not if success you seek, never strive with a mind dissipated with the anxieties and fears of the fruits thereof. To worry and get ourselves preoccupied with the anxieties for rewards of action is to escape ourselves from the present and live in the future. So the call is to work in the present and not worry about the future. Do I know what I'll be doing tomorrow? No. Even if I do, the time to prepare for this stuff is now, today, right now. You know, in Mahabharata, Yudhishthira is facing Yaksha, as you all know, and there are 108 questions. And Lord Yaksha asks Yudhishthira, because the others are all behosh. So Yaksha asks Yudhishthira, what is the most important moment in your life? And Yudhishthira says, the present moment, right now. And then he says, who is the most important person in your life at present? And he says, yourself, sir, the person you're talking to. So the present moment and the present person that you're talking to, if you focus on these things, you will never fail in life, because that is the true focus. That is the true meditation. That is the true idea of attention. So the art of self-perfection is attained through selfless dedication in serving the society or doing your job, whatever you're assigned to. And the other two shlokas are Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhaya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Yogastha kuru karmani. With full dedication, do your job, sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva. Not to be too attached to it and not to be worried about the result. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Such equanimity, such equilibrium is samatva, and that is another definition of yoga. And then the third shloka is buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukrit dushkrite tasmat yoga yujasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Dexterity in action is also yoga. So it's not only the 47th, it's the 47th, 49th, and the 50th slokas that describe the true karma yoga. After this description of the karma yoga, he goes on to the description of an individual who's sthita pragya. That is a true yogi. He says, a man of, he calls him a man of steady wisdom. And this is the 54th sloka of the second chapter. And he asks, Arjuna asks Lord Krishna, Arjuna vacha, sthit pragyasya ka bhasha, smadhistasya keshava, sthitati kim prabhasheta kim asit vrajet kim. O Krishna, O Lord Krishna, what is the description of a man of steady wisdom who is merged in this samadhi, in this superconscious state? How does he speak? Kim asit, kim prabhaset. How does he sit? How does he walk? He just puts forth this question. I want to know, how do you describe a man of steady wisdom? And then the next 17 shlokas are the description of this man of steady wisdom. We still have about 15 minutes or so. Is that okay? And everybody is hearing me? Yeah, okay.
Myself. Yes, everybody can hear you.
Okay.
And take as much time as you want because everybody is very looking forward very eagerly. So I think they all want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, so the man of steady wisdom, then Lord Krishna says, Prajahati yada kaman sarvat parthmanogatan atmanyev atmanashtu tushtas sthita pragyasya tadochyate. O Arjun, when a man completely casts off all his unnecessary desires, all his longings of the mind, it is okay to expect, to want what is needed and what is legitimate and what you really deserve. But what is meant by giving up the kama, unnecessary desires, is what is unnecessary, what you don't really need. When a man completely casts off all longings or unnecessary desires out of his mind, and he's satisfied himself within himself, he is a man of steady wisdom. An intellect contaminated by ignorance becomes a breeding ground for unnecessary desires. When the ignorance, like the mist, is lifted itself, and you are face to face with the divine reality, it melts, it recognizes the infinite. He comes to live the very source of all bliss, and unnecessary desires have no meaning for him. When one develops an attachment to objects, and when you want something and you don't get it, you get a little frustrated, you get a little angry, But that anger is nothing but an attachment to that object. And you have the real learning is to get rid of that feeling of attachment to that unnecessary object that you're looking for. Yatha sangharate chayam kurmo angani sarvasha indriyani indriyarthebhya tasya pragya pratishtita. He says, like a tortoise withdraws all his limbs. You have to control your senses, withdraw your senses from unnecessary fear, anger, calm, krodh, lobh, etc., etc. And he really goes on to describe this in 3 beautiful shlokas. And they're the 60th, 61st, 62nd, 63rd, and 64th slokas. I'll just chant them and I'll just give you the meaning. And if you understand them, you'll understand them and you'll love it. Huh? The 60th sloka is Yadato hi api kanteya purushasya vipaschitah indriyani pramathini haranti prasavamana. Says, O Arjuna, the turbulent senses violently carry away your mind. Even though a wise man is trying to control himself, I don't want any more money. I don't want any, but there is in the heart of his hearts, these senses take away his mind. इंद्रियाणि प्रमाथिनी हरंति प्रसव मने आपका मन हर लेती हैं तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्य इंद्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. O Arjun, control them all and fix thyself upon me. Only the person who has controlled his senses completely is a man of steadfast wisdom, is a man of wisdom. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषु उपजायते संगात् संजायते कामा कामात् क्रोधो विजायते. Once you begin to think of these sense objects, whether it's money, whether it's your car, whether it's your house, whether it's a woman, whether it's your lust about something or the other, all these desires, once you begin to think of them leads to an attachment, and the attachment leads to a desire, and from the desire develops so much attachment that when you don't get it, you get angry. And the next one is very important. Sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodho vijayate, dhyaito vishayan punsa, sangasteshu vijayate. With the sangha, you develop kama, desire, and when the desire is fulfilled, you develop a krodha. Krodha, the bhavati sammoha. When you're angry, you're confused. You do not have, your power of discrimination is gone. Anger is one of the worst enemies of humanity. Krodha, bhavati sammoha. Then in that confusion, in that delusion, the proper word is delusion. From the anger comes delusion. From delusion, sangat kamat krodho vijate, krodhat bhavati sammoha. Delusion leads to lack of power of discrimination or lack of memory. And then lack of power of discrimination leads to the end of a human being. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibrama, smriti bhranshat buddhi nasho, buddhi nashat pranashyati. And when your intellect is gone, forget it, man, you're gone. So, having restrained all senses, meditate upon me or focus. Me is just whatever your object is. Whether if it's a student, it's his subjects. If it's a job that you're doing, it's your job. So that focus is very. And in the 6th chapter, he goes on to describe when Arjuna talks about meditation. 6th chapter is chapter on meditation, and in that it is abhyase hi kaunteya vairagyen grihyate. When you lose your concentration, you have to practice again and again and again, and detach yourself from everything else, and you will have that focus. In that peace, all pains are destroyed, and the intellect of the joyous, tranquil content indeed becomes steady. So he says, for the mind which follows senses, the wandering senses carry away his power of discrimination. And he gives an example. Tat asya harati pragyam vayu navam if ambasi. Just like the wind carries away the boat that is in the river, that does not have proper direction. And he says, therefore, control your senses. And again, another example he gives, Apuryamanam achal pratishtham samudramapa yam pravishanti yadvat tadvat kama yam pravishanti sarve sashantim apnoti nakam kami. He says he attains peace into whom all desires merge imperceptibly, just like all the rivers, waters merge into the ocean without affecting the ocean at all. The ocean absorbs all waters from all the rivers without even rising an inch, a centimeter. That is the definition of is a man of wisdom who has an absolute self-control. So we're all travelers, he says, and with experience, you learn to travel light. Over the years, everybody learns to travel lighter and lighter by eliminating those items that you don't need. Therefore, don't engage the items that you don't need. Travel light in your life as well. And teach that to children as well. Give them what they need. Give them what they ask for. But also always instill in them the importance of being satisfied with what they have. Children are great psychologists. Teach them by example. If the mother has 50 dresses and buys a new one every time she goes on a party, the child is going to ask for a new toy, new video game, every day, every week. This way, he will never be satisfied. And he will never get that inner joy. You know, the brain has a satiety center. And that satiety center has to be satisfied by your own actions and beliefs. So satisfy that satiety center. And the last two shlokas of the second chapter are 71st and 72nd. Vihaya kama yasar. I love these two shlokas. I chant them almost every day. Vihaya kaman yasarvan puman charati nispraha nirmamo nirahankara sashantim adhigacchati. That human being attains peace who, abandoning all longings and unnecessary desires, without a sense of I-ness or minus, this is mine, without being arrogant, moves about in this universe like a traveler, like a wanderer. We're all just travelers. So he says, Puman charati nispraha, just like a wanderer. And having attained that level of satisfaction, satiety, and working hard, considering your work as a worship, considering your very work as a reward of your job, that man attains Aisha Brahmi. This is the second last shloka. Aisha Brahmi sthiti partha naivam prapi vimamiti stitva asyam antakale api brahmanirvram rajati. O Parth, O son of Pritha, O Arjun, this is the Brahmic state. And having attained this, no one is deluded. And being established therein, even at the end of your physical life, one attains oneness with Brahma. Where the delusory ego has ended, the state of Atma-jnana has dawned. To realize that self in one's own heart is to realize that self, that we are all eternal. This, so that is the end of second chapter. Om, so I'll chant this. Om Tatsaditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yog Shastre Shri Krishna Arjun Sambade Sankhya Yogo Nam Dvitiyo Adhyayaha. Thus in the Upanishads of glorious Bhagavad Gita, in the science of the eternal, in the scripture of yoga, this is the end of the second chapter of a dialogue between Shri Krishna and Arjuna, the second chapter entitled The Yoga of Wisdom. So this really is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And my request is basically, you know, we are so few Hindus in this area, and I know you're trying to build 2 temples. I think you should build 1 temple. You should all get together, resolve your differences. We are all the progeny of one creator. So in the 18th chapter, Bhagavan Krishna says, Sarva bhuteshu yen ekam bhavam avyayam ikshate. Sarva bhuteshu yen ekam bhavam avyayam ikshate. Avibhaktam vibhakteshu tad jnanam viddhi sattvikam. The true knowledge, Sarva bhuteshu yen ekam bhavam avyayam ikshate. Who can, a person who can, in all human beings, see the divinity, the same divinity. Sarva bhuteshu yen ekam bhavam avyayam ikshate, sees. Avibhaktam vibhakteshu. Even though we are different, even though we are divided, we are one. Avibhaktam vibhakteshu. Vibhakt hai, lekin vibhakt hai. Tat jnanam viddhi sattvikam. Aisa gyan jo hai, wo truly sattvik hai. And then again, in Ishavasi Upanishad, he goes on to say, Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyeva anupashyati sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tato na vijgupsate. Yastu, when sarvani bhutani, sab bhuton mein, sab praniyon mein, तुम्हें एक ही आत्मा नजर आए, एक ही भगवान नजर आए, तो तथना विजुगुप्सते, तब घृणा कहां से? तब तो प्यार ही प्यार, आनंद ही आनंद और कुर्बानी ही होगी. So where is the difference? There is no difference. You know, there are a handful of us and we are divided. We should learn from our scriptures. So with that, I often chant the first and the last shlokas of Bhagavad Gita with the meaning, because that really tells us that Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all scriptures. And let us chant that. And the first shloka is Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samveta Yudutsva Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kim Kuruvat Sanjaya. And the last one is Om Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanadara Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruvani Tirmatir Mama. And the last shloka says, it is Sanjay telling King Dhritarashtra, O king, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, jahan pe Yogeshwar Bhagwan Krishna hai. Bhagwan has been called Yogeshwara, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, और जहां पर अर्जुन जैसा धनुर्धारी है, अर्जुन जैसा स्टूडेंट है, तत्र श्री, वहां पे श्री लक्ष्मी होगी, तत्र श्री विजय, वहां पे विजय होगी, भूतिर ध्रुवान्वित, और एक स्टेडफास्ट पॉलिसी होगी. यही चीजें हमारे जीवन के लिए, हमारी लाइफ के लिए बहुत जरूरी है. We are all trying to be Arjunas of Lord Krishna. So that is the message of Bhagavad Gita. We're all trying to fight, all trying to put up this active resistance to evil. So, yatra yogeshvara kisham yatra partha dhanardhana tatra shri vijayo bhutar devanitar matrima. So let us all be Arjunas and let us have that, let us earn that steadfast wisdom. Dhanyavad. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shreedhar. That was absolutely wonderful. I can't, for me, it's amazing how you just, all these, the shlokas just kind of flow from you. So that's really pretty amazing for me. So thank you so much. I remember listening to these stories, as a little child with my grandmother. And that was one of the highlights of my childhood, was listening to all these stories from both my grandmothers, my paternal and my maternal grandparents. So this is very nice. I just want to see if anybody has any questions. I think they can unmute themselves, but one person at a time. We'll make sure that you have enough time to ask your questions. So does anybody have any questions right now? Please go ahead.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead, Pramila.
Okay, what's the best way of reading Gita? Like you said, chapter 2 and 18 are the gist of it. So should we start with 2 and 18 and then read 1, 2,
Well,
the right sequence?
The Holy Gita by Chinmayananda is the best translation. Essence of Bhagavad Gita has been written and described by a lot of authors, and they're all beautiful. But for people like you and me, reading it stepwise is a great idea. He gives a critique on every shloka. It is the Holy Gita by Swami Chinmayananda, and here it is, the Holy Gita. Okay, and it's published. It's available from Central Chinmaya Mission in, I think their office is in Sailorsburg. You can read. Now, the first chapter is Arjun Vishad Yoga, which is basically the preparation or description of a state of mind, which most of us are almost every day. And the second chapter gives you a stepwise, in 4 sections, describes the way of life, how we should live. The third chapter is detail of Karma Yoga. The third chapter is Karma Yoga. The fourth chapter is Karma Jnana Sannyas Yoga. The fifth chapter is Karma Sannyas Yoga. So after the second and third, then next very important chapter is the 6th chapter, which is known as Atma Sanyam Yoga, or meditation, sadhana yoga, or that it describes the details of how to meditate. And it's the biggest authority on transcendental meditation. And you don't need to do anything after that. Then the 7th chapter is Gyan Vigyan Yoga. About Jnana in the olden days was the knowledge that you acquire in the books, and Vijnana was the wisdom of the application of that jnana. So it's Jnana Vijnana Yoga, and that is, it's like, you have a commentary on football or commentary on tennis, but the actual player has the wisdom that he's doing that. So the experience of that is Jnana Vijnana Yoga. And then the 8th, 9th, 10th, or 8th is basically Om ka kafi usme hai. The next chapter that comes very important is the 12th chapter, which is Bhakti Yoga. It describes the 36 ideal qualities of a bhakta. It is just beautiful, beautiful description of those. It starts, and those qualities are described in the 13th and the 20th sloka. Advishta sarva bhutana maitra karunayucha nirmamo nirankara samduk sukshami santushta satam yogi yadatma dridnascha. If you read that and if you act upon the liberal that, you'll have absolute peace of mind. Even your husband can't upset you. And then is the in the 18th chapter, which really, okay, 16th and 17th also have their own qualities, but the 18th chapter again is known as Moksha Sannyas Yoga. And that is the description of sannyasa, tyaga, and also it is a description of three types of karma, karta, buddhi, like a sattvic, the rajasic and tamasic. Sattvic, rajasic and tamasic personalities, karma, karta, buddhi, tyaga, and then the description of 4 varnas, जो हमारा जातिवाद चलता है, actual description है इसकी कि we are not born Brahmins, we are not born Kshatriya, we are not born Vaishya and Shudra. It depends on our swabhava, on the profession that we are doing. And that is a beautiful description of how everybody is equal and everybody doing his own job achieves the same goal of divinity by just doing your job, because we all come with different capabilities, and we all in the 14th shloka is adhishtanam tadha karta karanam cha prithak vidam vividha cha prithak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam, that we have our body, we have our senses, and then we have the prithak vividha cha prithak cheshta. Everybody has different instruments of actions, activities. I'm a physician, you're a social worker, you're even amongst doctors, there's a psychiatrist, there is a pediatrician. So somebody's an IT person, somebody's an engineer. So we come with different tools given to us doing our jobs, whether somebody's a janitor or Bill Gates, we all have our jobs, and doing our jobs, we will reach the same divine goal if all we have to do is do our jobs efficiently. And that is the 18th chapter. It is a beautiful, it has 78 slokas, it's a long chapter, but it's worth meditating upon. But Bhagavad Gita is, I think everybody should read it. Everybody should, my father used to say, adopt one or the other sloka, and I'm sure Bhavna ji would agree. You don't have to, there is so much beauty in it. And sometimes there is even a repetition, but you need it, because we need to be told every now and then that this is the way to live.
Yes, it's very easy to get caught up in life, and
But you have to do it every day. I mean, you have to really sit back and say, am I doing the right thing? Am I hurting anybody? Or, you guys have great potential. Westchester has tremendous potential that needs to be explored. And I think we should work on that.
Yes. Thank you so much. Does anybody else have any questions? You can unmute yourself and feel free to ask.
Kamal ji, namaste. I see Kamal Dhar there. It's
yes.
I know him for the past 35, 36 years or 37 years now.
सबको अनम्यूट कर दीजिए.
Anybody has any questions? सबको अनम्यूट कर दिया है.
नमस्कार डॉक्टर साहब.
नमस्ते नमस्ते.
कहिए कमल जी, क्या हाल चाल है?
बस आपकी कृपा है.
ईश्वर की कृपा चाहिए.
हाँ,
मैंने कहा ऊपर वाले की दया चाहिए.
हाँ, वो तो है, वो तो होनी ही चाहिए.
अगर और क्वेश्चन नहीं है तो मेरे पास एक और है.
बोलिए प्रमिला.
वो जो आपने अभी एक एग्जांपल दिया था, that waves rise and they fall back in the sea. Can you explain that one more time for me, please?
Okay, one minute. Let me mute everybody again.
Yes, please.
So that while Rakesh ji is speaking, then
So basically,
one second. हाँ जी, बोलिए राकेश जी.
So it is a comparison of ocean to the Atma, the Paramatma, and the waves are the human existence. so that the soul is permanent. Human beings come and go. The waves take birth, they rise, they go down, and they merge into the ocean. And that is so the human existence is so transient. It's like the waves in the ocean, whereas the Atman is permanent. And that is the ultimate objective of our existence. That is the true Yoga Rudha is the ultimate union with the Paramatma. That's the explanation of it. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a question from another participant today, and he's
I
saying,
hope I can answer it.
which chapter is the heart of the Gita?
Which chapter is the heart of Gita? I would say you have to combine the 2nd and the 18th. 2nd and the 18th. 2nd chapter has 72 shlokas, and it's 4 components. And the 18th chapter has 78 shlokas, and those also in the 18th chapter, the components I'm just going to describe to you in a minute. So he talks about the sannyasa, the tyaga, then the sattvic, tamasic, the sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic types of jnana, karma, karta, buddhi, dhriti, and sukh. Then he talks about the wisdom and bhakti yoga, but basically, and also Bhagavad Gita is a great exercise. You have to take it as an exercise in self-analysis. I think we should not try to assess other human beings based on this study. It is basically to assess yourself, who you are, where in the spiritual evolution of human being you are. This is the greatest lesson in spiritual evolution that you can get. So you assess yourself and try to elevate yourself from whatever level you are. And the meditation on the 2nd, 6th, and 18th chapter would be the best. In fact, I would say 2nd, 12th, and 18th. But if you can do all the 4, that would be the best description. Thank you.
Jitendra ji has a question, and I'm going to unmute him now. Jitendra ji, I've unmuted you if you want to ask.
Dr. Saab, I wanted to get the summary of, many people say that the 15th chapter is the essence. That's the one that talks about the Vairagya, talks about the life being an upside down.
Yeah, 15th chapter is Purushottam, description of Purushottam. Really, the description of Paramatma, and oftentimes 15th chapter is chanted after somebody's expiry and stuff like that. And it is also a little bit like the 12th chapter. It describes the जीवात्मा का विषय, परमेश्वर के स्वरूप का विषय, अक्षर पुरुषोत्तम का विषय. I'm not an expert on the 15th chapter. I have read it. It basically describes the heavenly abode, where you want to be.
Exactly, since most of the Hindus, their ultimate goal is to end the cycle of birth and death and get Vairagya or get moksha. Isn't the 15th chapter essentially talking about how to go about doing it, how to go?
You have to, Jatendra ji, you have to start in the 1st chapter. Most of us live all our lives in the first chapter,
हाँ जी.
in the confusion. So 15th chapter, Bhagavad Gita is a very systematic description of how you should read it. Basically, it's not haphazard. People pick up chapters and things like that. You have to read it like a novel. But start with the first chapter and you will see that most of us, when we get up in the morning, अरे भाई मैं उठूं कि नहीं? क्या यार आज काम करना मुझे जाना है ये वो. So you have to, but what I have done is that there is a difference between उत्तिष्ठ and जागृत. जागने में और उठने में फर्क है. ठीक है ना साहब? आप 5 बजे उठेंगे, 6 बजे उठेंगे, लेकिन 6 बजे जागेंगे लेकिन 6:30 उठेंगे. So that you have already wasted half an hour.
Yeah.
And some of us regret that. अरे यार 5 बजे उठ जाता तो और अच्छा रहता. So it starts with the first chapter. Second chapter is great. Third chapter is the Karma Yoga. But 15th chapter is almost like ultimate. उसको पढ़ना चाहिए बाद में, because that is the वो भगवान कृष्ण जो हैं वो कहते हैं तद भासयते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावका यद कृत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद धामम परमम मम. जिस परम पद को प्राप्त होकर मनुष्य लौटकर संसार में नहीं आते, उस परम पद में न सूर्य प्रकाशित होता है, न चंद्रमा है, न अग्नि है, वही मेरा परम धाम है. Okay, so nirma nirmoha jitsanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dvandai vimukta sukh dukh sange kanchara mutya padma viyantam. मान, जिनका मान और मोह नष्ट हो गया है, जिन्होंने आसक्ति रूप दोष को जीत लिया है, जिनकी परमात्मा के स्वरूप में नित्य स्थिति है, जिनकी कामनाएं पूर्ण रूप से नष्ट हो गई हैं, वे सुख दुखनात्मक द्वंद्वों से विमुक्त ज्ञानी जन मुझे प्राप्त होते हैं. I mean, you have to really go through Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, but this, absolutely, you want to meditate upon this, that's fine. But this, ये तो बड़ी पहुंची हुई चीज है जनाब. 15वां अध्याय. The last time I meditated upon this was 2014 when my mother passed away. Okay, because I wanted to honor her departure with meditation on this chapter. So it is yeah, but the general eulogy when somebody passes away is the second chapter about the eternity of soul, but the 15th chapter chanting is very important. But it's is it important? Very important, yeah, of course. But that is the essence, that is the significance of it.
Okay, thank you.
And it's actually, it is known as Purushottam Yoga now.
I see.
It is known as Purushottam Yoga. Every adhyaya is a yoga, and it is chanted as Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita tu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Krishi Krishna Arjan Sambade Purushottamo Nam Panchadasho Adhyaya. So it gives you the description of that, and then you end it with that.
Okay. Is that it, Jatendra ji, or does anybody else have any questions? Then you can just message me in the chat. Otherwise, I think. Oh my God. Okay, one second. Let me unmute. You're unmuted. You can speak.
Okay, Dr. Shreedhar ji, namaste, pranam. मेरा आवाज सुनाई रहता है? आप सुन रहे हो मेरे को? नटू भाई पटेल from Royal Palace.
मैं बोल के थक गया.
अच्छा, आपका आवाज नहीं आता था इसलिए. पहले तो बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. रॉकलैंड से स्पेशल जगदीश भाई के साथ आपकी अमृतवाणी सुनने का हमको लाभ मिला.
जगदीश जी कहें और मैं ना करूं, ये कैसे हो सकता है?
हाँ, बस आपने मेरा आधा काम तो कर दिया है. एक सेक्शन मारी बीच में. दूसरी बात,
इकट्ठे होइए.
पूरे हुए.
हाँ,
2 अध्याय पूरे हैं, 18 बाकी है, तो 8 लेक्चर. We have a rain check. Can we expect?
This is all I can do. यही मैं.
तीसरा, इंग्लिश की जगह.
I can't hear you. You're breaking up.
just to invite, okay. Whatever is comfortable.
No,
Yeah, I didn't hear you.
I will speak to. I will speak to.
I want
I'm
you to
sure,
help us through.
I can't hear him.
I want you to build up the bridge between Rockland and Westchester, all association as a Hindu,
Yeah.
through the medium of
We need to do that. We
translation.
need to. बहुत जरूरी है ये, बहुत जरूरी.
एक मंदिर बनाओ, 10 मंदिर बनाओ, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. साथ में रहने का, सबका साथ, सबका लाभ.
सबका विकास.
Civilization, culture, everything. We are all brothers and sisters. We don't have differences. मन दुख नहीं होना चाहिए. मतभेद हो सकता है, दिल को धक्का नहीं लगना चाहिए. हमारा भाई है, माफ करो, forget. प्रणाम. आप जारी रखो. बहुत शुक्रिया. आभार.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So anybody else have any questions? I think you can unmute yourself. Let me see. I'll just quickly unmute. I'm going to try it again, and hopefully there won't be too much chaos. But if anybody, I've unmuted everybody. If somebody has a question. Raji, आपको कुछ पूछना है? Okay. So since there are really no more questions from anybody, I just want to thank Rakesh ji again. You know, he spoke for a good 1.5 hours, and
I can't believe I did that.
Very nice. Very nice.
It just it didn't really feel like 1.5 hours. It just
I can't believe I did that. मैंने जगदीश जी कहा था कि आपको मैंने कहा था कि 45 minutes रखिए, that will be more than enough.
आपको आना पड़ेगा वापस. लोग मानेंगे नहीं.
That's all I can do. That's all.
We can talk about it definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
राकेश जी, एक छोटी सी विनती है इसी कंटिन्यूएशन में कि एक कैलेंडर बना दीजिए हमारे लिए. आप कब कब आ रहे हैं? मींस वी हैव टू मीट एंड वी हैव टू हियर यू एट रेगुलर इंटरवल्स. आपने कहा ना हम भूल जाते हैं, हमें बार बार याद कराते रहना चाहिए. प्लीज आप हमको डेट्स दीजिए. भावना जी को डेट्स दीजिए. एटलीस्ट वंस अ मंथ.
Thank you जी. Thank you जी. Thank you.
थोड़ी सेवा हमें भी सिखाइए.
Thank you जी.
Is that the one? Oh, Hila. Is that the one he suggested?
No, I don't. Looks like it. Looks like. Is it from the Chinmaya?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Shrimad Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
It's the Holy Gita, yeah.
It's a Holy Gita. No, I think it's a different one.
Hello.
Thank you.
Swami Chimyananda.
Oh, आप अभी है? Can you please text us the name and the by Chinmay? I'm looking at this one. This is any one of these is correct?
Swami Chimyananda's Gita is available from Chimya Mission Tri-State Center in Langhorne, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, right. Thank you, ji.
Who was that? Mohanji?
And it's called Chimya West Publications.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Also on Amazon.
I think it's available on Amazon also.
Yeah, I'm looking at Amazon only, but there are so many. I'm just getting confused.
No, the Rakesh ji showed the picture of that book.
I know. Okay, I'll find it.
Bhavna ji?
I'm going to send you I'm going to put a link in the chat box. I think I found it on the Chinmay Mission website. It's called so I'm just putting it in the chat box, and then
okay, good.
You can kind of take a look at it and see. You'll have to scroll down on that page and then take
I am scrolling.
Okay. So I think in the, and I can always look and I can email everybody. So, and I can put it on the Facebook page and the website, the book. All right. So I think it's almost 8 o'clock. It's kind of getting late. हाँ अरुण जी
सॉरी, मैंने कहा अभिलाष जी को बोलिए शांति पाठ करके फिर खत्म।
हाँ बस
I can do the Shanti.
अरे चंद्रा जी आ गई हैं।
ओके चंद्र जी आप कर दीजिए।
जी जी।
Yeah, that's the one.
Shanti Antare Shanti Prithvi Shanti Rama Shanti Rodaya Shanti Vanaspate Shanti Vishwe Deva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvagam Shanti Shanti Reva Shanti Sama Shanti Devi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
थैंक यू चंद्र जी।
थैंक यू चंद्र जी।
धन्यवाद।
Okay. अरुण जी आपको और कुछ कहना हो तो फिर बोल दीजिए, फिर नहीं तो
नहीं, जगदीश जी ने बता दिया, अपडेट कर दिया, तो आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आप सबको मेरा बहुत बहुत प्रणाम। आप सब तन मन धन से सुखी रहें, यही भगवान के चरणों में मेरी प्रार्थना है।
It was very beautiful जी, बहुत अच्छा उन्होंने दिया है डॉक्टर ने। Very nice, very nice. जी।
We'll have to bring him back again.
Yes, yes.
Definitely.
भावना जी इसको कंटिन्यू रखिए, और अपना जो आचार्य जी जो इंडिया से आए हुए हैं उनका भी चालू रखिए, लाइक whoever we can get on Fridays, it's very
उनको भी लाएंगे। हाँ
उनको लाएंगे next time हम।
Yes.
बारी बारी। हाँ
जी।
Okay, namaste. Thank you everybody, and we'll see you again. When is the next
Tuesday.
Tuesday. So it's every Tuesday and Friday. If you want to just mark on the calendar, and Tuesday it will be the same link for the Hanuman Chalisa that it was this past Tuesday. So thank you everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you जी।
Thank you अरुण जी।
थैंक यू चंद्र जी।
Thank you भावना।
मैं कॉल करके आपसे बात करता हूँ।
जी।
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you Ilaben, Diman bhai.
Diman bhai, thank you Abhilash ji।
Thank you Pramila.
That's